Huh? What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogreboy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2022 movie Halloween Ends. So, this movie takes place 4 years after the events of Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, and Laurie Strode has decided to liberate herself from fear and rage and embrace life. But when a young man is accused of killing a boy he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade of violence and terror that will force Laurie to finally confront the evil she can't control once and for all. This movie has been polarizing with fans and stuff. I've been seeing some people absolutely love this movie and some people absolutely hate it, and I'm kind of more in the love it category. I had to watch it twice just to make sure that I enjoyed it as much the second time around, and that it held up better, or still held up after knowing what was going to happen and everything. That's why this video has taken so long for me to get released. But I enjoyed Halloween Ends. I thought that it was a fitting ending to this trilogy, and if this is the last time we see Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode, I think that they ended that on a high note. There is one thing about this movie though that a lot of people are mad about, and I can totally get it. It has to do with the Corey Cunningham character getting so much screen time that he kind of takes the lead of the movie, and he's kind of like the main character, and Laurie and especially Michael Myers kind of get put on the back burner in this movie, and I can get why that annoys people so much and everything. It makes sense why it does and everything. I can get it, but I personally enjoyed this movie anyway. I thought it was still really enjoyable, and I actually liked the Corey character. I thought he was pretty interesting. I kind of don't like what they did with him by the end of the movie, but at the same time I also am really glad they did what they did and everything. But if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to keep this video spoiler free and everything, but I'll say all the performances in here are really great, especially Jamie Lee Curtis. She's great as she always has been, and she's a lot more lighthearted and feels more like Laurie Strode in the original Halloween before Michael started attacking her and stuff. I saw glimpses of that Laurie Strode in this performance, and I just love it. And I love the ending we get for Laurie Strode. I think it's a really good ending for her character and story and everything. I love that too. And Andi Matichak as Allison is once again great. I've always thought she was really good, and I thought she did a really great job once again in here. Ronan Campbell as Corey Cunningham is really good. He's just fits the character really well and brings this awkwardness and stuff, but he also kind of has a creepiness to him as well. And I don't think he's near as bad of a character as some people are making it out to be. It's because he's not Michael Myers why everyone is making a big deal about it, and why everyone is like so mad about it. I can get that, but Corey does have a likable personality and screen presence at times in the movie, and then at times you're like, whoa, this dude is crazy and everything. But I think he does a good job. I think he's pretty good in this movie. Yeah, the performances were great. The cinematography is once again pretty good. I think it was better in the first two movies. I think that they looked better and stuff as far as the cinematography goes, but I still think it looked pretty good. And there were some pretty good kills in here. Especially my favorite kill is probably one that takes place at a radio station, but there are some pretty good ones in here. I love what they did with this. They took a lot of risks with this movie, and you don't get that in mainstream movies nowadays, hardly. Most of the time they play it safe, and they did play it safe a little bit. They could have gone through with something with the Corey character that would have been even crazier, but at the same time, the way they ended the movie, I'm kind of glad they did it the way they did too. So I'll talk more about that in my spoiler review. But yeah, I think Halloween Ends was a fitting ending to this trilogy. Personally, I think it's my favorite one out of the three movies. and everything, just because it totally took a different turn for a movie in this franchise, and I love when the franchise does that. You don't get it very often, but when they decide they want to go in a different direction and everything, sometimes it'll work and sometimes it don't, but this time it worked and everything. If they ever make a sequel to it, it would totally ruin this movie and everything. So I hope that we don't get a sequel to this particular movie. I'm not against them making more Halloween movies, because we know eventually it's going to happen, and I'll be there day one for whatever new stories they do. But this story, there's no way to make a sequel to it, really. It's a satisfying ending, or satisfying enough. Like I said, I do have a little bit of issues and everything, and I can understand why it bothers people a lot more than it does me, but and I'll talk about it when I do my spoiler review. But I enjoyed Halloween Ends. I think it was pretty decent and pretty enjoyable. So all in all, I'd say I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It's definitely one of my new favorites in the franchise. Like I said, I watched it twice just to make sure, and I enjoyed it even more the second time around, and I really enjoyed it the first time. So but yeah, I just wanted to do this review and everything. I know y'all have probably been waiting to hear my thoughts on it and everything, and I'll have a spoiler review up maybe the next day or two as well, talking more about it. And I also am working on a few other Halloween videos I'll talk about over the next few days. But so anyway, let me know in the comments what you thought about Halloween Ends, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.